Welcome to EcoEconUG. My name is TG Latiat Lock, and like I told you, I'm in the Green Village, which is in the Green City of Fort Portal. Uh, I will be moving to Mountains of the Moon University. Uh, as you know, there's a project running right now. Mountain of the Moon University is in consortium with Uganda Wildlife Research Institute and Queen Elizabeth National Park uh, as a drive to domesticate one of those animals that most people go to hunt in the bush. And one of the most hunted species has been found out to be the cane rats or the grass cutters, or what we call scientifically as Theronomes species. Of course, there are two species within the cane rat species. We have the greater cane rats, or what we call the Theronomes swindiarenius, and the lesser cane rats, which are called the Theronomes gregorianus. East Africa and Uganda, inclusive, is blessed to be the only region in the sub-Saharan Africa to host both of those species. So we have both. In West Africa, the market is predominated by the Swindiarenius, the greater canes, but here we have both a blend of the greater and the lesser, and in our wildernesses. You know, uh, as part of conservation, um, domestication has been touted to be one of the most important aspects of conservation because very many hunters go to hunt certain species, although they end up now killing anything they get in the park. But most people would go for these edible rats, the cane rats. Uh, then when they reach there, they now kill the antelope, they kill the gazelles, they kill anything, even they kill leopards if they can. So what drives them to go to the bush may be something small, but when they reach there, they become very, very dangerous to the wildlife. So domestication is a drive, a new drive in town to try to curb the rampant cases of as an initiative to uh, conserve the wildlife. Of course, we are starting with the most obvious one, the cane rats, but I'm very sure that we may end up with the gazelles, with the antelopes, and other species that are not dangerous, harmful. I mean, they are not wild to humans. So that when we bring them home, so if we have 10 hunters that used to go to hunt, at least 5 would now settle for domestication agenda. They would rather now keep them home. So uh, I'm glad to be part of this maiden journey. It's going to be the first time in the country where somebody is going to officially uh, or scientifically try to domesticate these cane rats. It's not like it has never been done in other parts of the world. West Africa are already doing it. I saw one university in Tanzania has also started. Mountains of the Moon may be ahead of them in terms of schedule, but it is also going on in one of the Tanzanian universities. But East Africa generally, the study is still very low, and yet we are blessed with them. Uh, I, although I'm a student of Gulu University, but I'm glad that my topic, evaluating the feeding efficiency of cane rats, an assessment of their potential for sustainable livestock production in Uganda, actually the concept I wrote to them won their hearts, and yeah, I was taken. I'm very grateful for Wildlife Research Institute and Mountains of the Moon University for considering me, although I initially was not part of it. Like I told you, the consortium was between Mountains of the Moon University and Uganda Wildlife Research Institute and Queen Elizabeth National Park. So how good university student came in is partly luck and partly because I think they found that the concept deserved consideration. I want to thank Mountains of the Moon University. I'm going to be the lead researcher and but the lead person in the project as a whole. It's a 5 years project, although my research is a 1 year research, but the project is a 5 year project, which is being led by a very distinguished academician, Professor Moses Muhumuza, who is a specialist in community conservation. And then I will have a vet specialist. Samuel will be more of my research assistant, but he's a specialist in animal production and a vet, and a vet specialist. Although he's also a student of agribusiness in Mountains of the Moon University, pursuing his master's. Mm. So, ladies and gentlemen, you would begin to see the relevance of why we need to domesticate. Guinea fowl has been domesticated. Partly now people can have guinea fowls at home. So we need next to be this. So this is our time, is our era of domestication, and not like we were born already seeing goats, sheep. Those ones are thousands of years ago, from ancient China. Camel have been domesticated. So we were born while knowing that we have domestic animals, but this is a new era. This is a new era to bring in, because domestication follows from the problems. When transport was a problem, they found that camels could be good means of transport, and the donkeys, hence the domestication. When food became shortage in the ancient China, and they needed so they looked at the more docile wild animals like the goats, and they domesticated. Now we are living in the 21st century, uh, where by 2050 the global population will be reaching uh, close to 10 billion people by 2050, meaning there's going to be a lot of pressure on the food systems, which needs to adjust itself uh, to meet the demand from over 10 billion people. So there is need to be very creative in getting access to this food, not necessarily relying on the traditional or the conventional livestock, but we can also bring in other livestock practices like domesticating cane rats. You know, they have very low environmental footprints, but they can accrue a lot of benefits. For example, they take less land, they need less water, and they take less feed, meaning they are going to have little impact or imprints, I mean footprints on environment. You know, the food system is already capable for 25% of the global greenhouse gas emissions. It is already taken up a third of the actually of the arable land. So, meaning if we are not very creative in the sources of our food, by 2050 there's going to be problem with our food system. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to EcoEconUG, the political ecologist. Domestication probably is one of those that is going to bridge the gaps that we have in our environment. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. We want to see what is your take about it. Otherwise, I remain TG Laterlock, grateful for being good viewers.